Identifying sexual abuse against children isn't always obvious, especially for everyday people who aren't trained on what to look for. Now, a new program is working to change that. Joining me now is Penny Ettinger with Network of Victim Assistance, or NOVA, and Grace Wheeler, the Bucks County Coordinator for Safe and Healthy Community Initiatives. Thank you both for being with us.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
We'll get to the program in just a moment, but first, we want to talk about some numbers, some important numbers. Let's take a watch here. Each year, about 2,300 children are reported to be sexually abused in Pennsylvania, but experts say there are many, many unreported cases. 90% of the offenders are known to the child and family. Child sex abuse often involves more than a single incident and can go on for years. I see you both nodding in agreement with those numbers.
Yeah. So that's absolutely true, and we know that the number I would add to that is only about 37% of children tell. For all sorts of reasons they don't tell, and we can talk about that. But I think it's really, we know it's underreported, and we also know it's underreported because it's not always sort of the egregious act that we think of in terms of rape, but it can be, inappropriate touching, voyeurism. All of those are a crime against children.
Grooming, right, Grace?
Absolutely. I think sometimes we miss that a relationship between a child and an offender does not immediately start with abuse. It starts with building that relationship, building that rapport and that trust, because that's going to be a vital part for the offender in being able to maintain that relationship with the child.
And so tell us what the program does.
Yeah, so the larger project is called the Safe and Healthy Communities Initiative, and there's 3 parts to it. The first is that we'll be working with parents in Bucks County. The second is that we'll be working with students in our public school districts. We'll be working with 2nd grade students. And then the third is this training. It's through Darkness to Light. It's called Stewards of Children. It's a 2-hour prevention training, and when participants come, they start by learning the facts, getting a real picture of this entire issue, and then they move through what does prevention look like and how does this apply to the children in my life.
Grace, what should people be looking out for? What is, it may be obvious that people miss?
Yeah, I think one thing that we often teach our children is this concept of stranger danger. Oftentimes kids can paint this picture for you of the person with the white van and the candy at the park. But when we look at that 90% statistic, that's not by and large who we're looking for. So we want to be looking at the people in our children's lives who are perhaps pushing or blurring those boundaries that we've set for our children. So if the rule in our household is that we don't go into the basement alone with a grown-up, and we have that grown-up who's kind of pushing that boundary, or we find questioning that boundary, that should be a little red flag to us, and just maybe someone we want to keep a little bit more of an eye on.
Who is the person who wants to spend more time with children than with adults? And in an isolated setting, who's sort of offering lots of trinkets and gifts to one particular child in the family? Even if it's your husband's best friend, you need to be aware of that. And that, I think, is so much more important than stranger danger. And I think it's really important for parents to be having those conversations with their children and early.
Yeah,
really good advice from both of you, Penny Ettinger and Grace Wheeler. Thank you so much for coming in. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Sure, thank you.
Thanks for having us.